tutuzela care center bokono talusor kone bawana lagai now as the services never rendera ndezipio very known to GBV azoneka vari huna rufera rune vone vatuswa khalo rune musi vone vakhalo baba muthu ovewaho no kudele vathetiwa nga nḓila yo teaho azwinekani so zwi amba zwori a tshi na mafhungo a u dzumbana musi nne ndi songo fariwa zwone kana musi nne ndi tshi khou vhona muṅwe ṅwana uri hai hafha huna mafhungo a songo dzudzanyeyaho a ri tsha dzumbana ri a bvela khagala vha hone vho no thusa kha heyo sivhari na ya hedzi service so ri vha tshipiḓa tshi tevhelaho ndi khou tama u takusa mufumakadzi we nda thoma uri ndi tshi thoma muḓivha nda muḓivha a tshi tovha mufumakadzi muhanga a sa sedzi zwa uri tshibebe zwimo kana ndo bebelwa South Africa kana ndo to bva zwo ima nga nḓila ḓe mara hune a swika hone uri community ya musina arali ni huna hatsi then spade ndi ḓo khura arali ni hu tshi ṱoḓa harakiwa mpeni haraga give me a live break then ndi ḓo haraga kha ri farisane a ri na inclusivity yone ine nda khou ṱoḓa yone that is my motto a huna muṅwe nga nnḓa ha nnyi na our ambassador paleta vha tshi khou ḓo imela dzi immigration dzi migrant uri hafha kha henoni program a zwo ṅwalwa zwone vha khou ḓo imela mini dzi migrant ndo livhuwa vho DJ kha vha tou vha dzinginyisa nyana vha dzinginee vha vha diele makhadzi ndi a vha funa nga maanḓa ndi vhona makhadzi can I hold this thing for you vha khou ṱoḓa ifhio ya makhadzi I know you I hate that fight zwone vha khou ṱoḓa yo ṱavhanya yo ṱavhanyesa ndi khou ṱoḓa uri vha ḓivhe uri havha musi vha fhindi she's an ambassador kha vha ṱoḓa nalo lo kuma Swanda she's very good. Thank you, Pastor G. I just want to greet everyone. I just want to honor the women that are great and inspiring that are sitting before us. I want to thank all protocol and observe all protocol. I also want to thank Baba Mzazi for inviting me to be a speaker for the migrants and speak out on the issues that migrants are facing as challenges. Allow me, before I talk, just to give a small illustration. Many times we want to fix, but instead of fixing, we end up fighting. So when I was looking at this issue of the issues or the challenges that the migrants are facing, I stood to myself and I asked myself, is it really that we are facing challenges or we have created
challenges ourselves. It is also good to look at yourself before you point a finger at someone. As an ambassador of Christ, I believe John 8:32 says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." It's not prayer, but it's the truth. So today I wanted to challenge someone, maybe who is a migrant, who is sitting before us or in the midst. If you look at a car, you can actually give a car that's a toy to a baby, and then they can drive it or they can push it. But if you look at a real car, if you take a baby, it's only, I saw the baby somewhere there. But if you take a baby and then you give them or you sit them in the car, you might find that their legs will not reach the gears. Their hands can reach, but they don't know how maybe to change. What am I trying to say to someone? There are times when we as people seem to jump into things. The moment we jump into things, we mess it up. So today, as I stand here, I want to look into my life as a journey. It's something that I always tell myself, that my life is a movement of change. The moment I came into South Africa, Messina, I was a victim of GBV. Later on in my life, I also became a perpetrator. But little did I know that it shall affect me somehow, some way, later on in life. So as I came, I thank God because I was raised by people who managed to make me to know what a passport is, how the benefits of a passport can be in my life. I did not come jumping the border. I came through stamping, and I was also somebody who was working under the cross-border thing. I was driving from Zimbabwe to Messina. Along my journey, I met a lot of challenges on the border. There were people we met who had no documentation, who would even want to seek help to be jumped into the country. We met a lot of people who were traveling without money, enough money. Financially, they were having some challenges. But when you talk to them, they'll tell you that I'm coming from a slight problem which I need to solve. They are running away maybe from fights, GBV, and then they want to solve the issue by coming to South Africa. Those things brought some confusion to my life. This person has come from so far without enough money. How are they making it in the journey? I discovered that a lot of women were being taken advantage because they were vulnerable by not having sufficient money. Those same women would bow down to anything. If they came across a man, they would be told, you don't have money and you need to go. I'll transport you, but on one condition, you will lay down with me. So these women were running away from GBV issues, but in the way, they became victims. So it wasn't like they were thinking on that note. They were just thinking of fleeing to safety, not knowing that safety doesn't just come cheap if you are not truly equipped for the journey. So as I was looking into the issue of what migrants are facing, I also realized that on the way, there was a time that I also became a perpetrator to GBV. I was inciting violence in my own marriage. I was a woman who was challenging her own husband. I was a woman who was not willing to humble myself to be under a man. So those things, they didn't make sense until now. When I look at myself, I'm so happy when Sister Faith was talking about women-headed families. It's actually something that came to light now. But in my understanding, there were a lot of issues that I saw that my children were actually under child-headed family. My own children were heading their siblings, and it disadvantaged them so much. My children did not go to school well. They were having so many challenges. Imagine if I could open a shop like MB1S, I would have opened, because most of the times I was having issues. I never wanted to fix. I wanted to fight and run away. So in the process, my children were just like uprooted from a school, and then they have to be put into another school. This was an inconvenience to their education. I ended up inconveniencing my own place, they have to look for another uniform, a new place. Imagine when you are so hooked, maybe you have made friends and you just have to leave them just like that, suddenly, without any notice. So, some of these things, I later on saw that they were becoming issues in my own life. I was a victim of abuse. But the time that I was facing that challenge, I thought I would make life better by coming into South Africa. So when I was here, there were a lot of times I was a beggar. I was begging for making life, making ends meet. Though I had become now a woman who is in position to fend for the family. And by the way, I'm a mother of 9, 8 girls and 1 boy. Next, in August, I'm turning 50. Can you imagine? I've got 8 grandchildren, but I was not having discipline in my life. So the challenge that I want to recite, majorly or mostly, that migrants are facing is not that we're not being supported. We are lacking a lot of knowledge. We are lacking a lot of discipline. Instead of fighting, why can't we fix? There are a lot of people who have hurt by coming here. We thought we're solving, yet we're creating more danger and more hurt, more pain to our children. How do you think I feel as I'm standing here? Knowing that part of me caused myself to be chased by the immigration because of not having proper documentation. Do I have the right to point to the immigration, or do I have to correct myself by obtaining a passport? So today I want to say to the immigrants,